I have hit a few stores in different cities around the world in the last few years. And it just makes me happy that in this age of constant social media scroll, those bookstores were packed with people. If you are someone who wants to rest your phone down and pick up a book in this new year and really find some inner peace and get your read on, then this is for you. If I had to start over and get into reading, I would use these 7 ways to develop this habit. Read books you like until you like to read. It's this weird notion that if you are a proper reader, you need to read the classics. You need to read whatever the current trending book is. And you aren't truly a reader until you read Think and Grow Rich, or until you read The 4-Hour Workweek, or the one that's been going on for the past few years, Sapiens. But honestly, who cares? My favorite type of books to read is mystery thriller type. So I always have some sort of book going on either on my Kindle or my Audible. So when I want to start a productivity or a classic book that I'm not really into it, I know that there is a mystery novel waiting for me. Or if I haven't read in a while, I would pick up one of those TikTok popular Colleen Hoover books before I pick up a Stoicism one. So read topics you like until you develop the habit of reading. Quit boring books. Think of it like watching a movie. You give any movie 20-30 minutes and if you don't like it, you stop it, right? So why not do the same thing for books? Don't get me wrong, I know that feeling. If you don't finish a book, it feels like you're quitting. We quit movies, YouTube videos, don't read newsletters all the way. So why not use the same logic when we are reading books? Our time is too valuable to read books that we don't like. There's too many books out there to pick from. Don't read the ones that do not resonate with you. We have to get rid of this weird feeling that quitting books is not okay. Quit books that you don't like and completely remove the unnecessary stress that we put on ourselves. Honestly, if you think that you want to know what the book is about and read a short summary of it for 20-30 minutes before you pick up that book, then I would definitely recommend Shortform. Shortform is a platform that contains a library of book summaries that provides the key takeaways and insights in a very concise manner. You can read one-page summaries and also every chapter summary for all the books. You can even listen to audio formats if you decide to listen while commuting, working out, or anything else. The next one is getting a Kindle. Forget about different features that makes Kindle an amazing device like ease of use or reading in the dark. There are many reasons to buy a Kindle and I've made many videos on it. Check out my channel for that. But why I would recommend a newbie to buy a Kindle is because you can switch between books when you are not in the mood of reading your current one. Let's say you are exhausted from a long day at work and you want to read a book, but you are less inclined to pick a productivity or a philosophical book. At that time, if you have a book like a memoir or a fiction of a topic you are into, then it should be available at a click of a button. Rather than carrying multiple books, it just makes reading so much easier when they are all in one spot. Speaking of ease of use, I know people who want to get into reading but just can't seem to find time for that. For them, Audible is the next best option. You can listen to audiobooks while working out, running on the treadmill, or commuting to work. I even listen to audiobooks when I'm just working around the house. Honestly, some books are better in audio format just because the narrator is so good. Listening to Ryan Holiday's books in his voice, or Matthew McConaughey's Green Lights, or Jocko Willink's Extreme Ownership, it's just a different feeling. And on the flip side, there are some books that are so dry that sitting down with a physical copy is just super boring. So in such cases, it's best if you plug in your headphones and do something else while you're listening to those books. Read multiple books at once. I did a full video on it of how you do that. I'll leave the link for it in the description below. But this point stems from the previous points I've already mentioned. If you feel like quitting a book, it's probably because that book sucks for you. But it also means that you are just not into that book right now. That's why reading multiple books at once is actually better than quitting a book that you might want to come back to later. If I'm in a mood of a productivity book, then I always have one ongoing. But if I'm bored, then I can pick up a fiction book instead. On my morning commutes to work, I always listen to memoirs or biographies. But while I'm coming back, I'm tired and exhausted. So I would rather listen to a thriller book that is going to keep me engaged. That's why I always have multiple books going on at any given time. Some romance, some murder mystery, some self-help, some memoir. It all depends on what I'm in the mood of right now. Just answer that and pick up that book. If I'm reading only one book at a time, for example, a self-help book, And if I'm tired of it, then I'm not going to grasp anything that the book is trying to say. Then having an option to switch works in my favor. Gamify reading. You can use this social networking website called Goodreads by Amazon where you can track all your books. You can add books to your current read list, to read list, and all the books that you have read. And you can compartmentalize in different sections however way you like it. You can even follow people, your friends, and track what books they are reading right now. I call this gamifying because it's a nice way to track how many books you have read in each genre for each year. Last year, I read 25 books. I can leave my profile in the description below if you would like to give me a follow. And lastly, ignore the counter. I just said that I read 25 books last year. But honestly, who gives a shit? If you read one book, that's awesome. If you read 300 books, that's awesome. I follow some Facebook groups that are dedicated for readers. In this new year, on 3rd January, 3rd day after the new year, someone posted, I read 4 books so far and starting my 5th one. But honestly, no normal person with a 9-to-5 job has that much time. That post is super cringy, and honestly, that group is also just a measuring contest. That's all. Genuinely, nobody cares about how many books you have read. Normal, good people just want to get excited about the next book they want to read and want to add it to their to-read list. That's it. Nobody cares if I read 100 books last year. Focus on quality and not quantity. Just pick 5 books to read this year. That's it. 5. And if you happen to run into one that is boring, just quit that one and pick up another one. So make 2024 that year. Get your read on. Oh, by the way, if you want to see what format of book you might be most interested in, I made a video previously where I compare Kindle, physical books, and Audible. Watch that video and see which one you prefer the most. Thanks for watching. Cheers.